You are listening to the 90 Days Later podcast with Anna Charles, episode 214. Welcome to the 90 Days Later podcast, where we talk about what really happens when you take a break from drinking. And it turns out to be the best thing you've ever done. I'm Anna, coach to high achievers who are done waking up with regret and ready to feel in control around alcohol. If you've ever wondered what your life could look like with less wine and more you're in the right place. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. Now, before I get started here, I want to let you know of something that's coming up. I want to invite you to a free training. I'm doing monthly free trainings. So, by the way, you want to get on my email list so you get to learn all about this. You get first dibs on that. To get on my list, just email me, anna@90dayslater.co, and I'll stick you on there. All right, so I am hosting on the 19th of February a free training. Get this. This is so cool. It's called How to Care Less About What Other People Think When You Say No to Wine. Right? This is about breaking out of that what if spiral, which is what we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be about handling social pressure with confidence, staying grounded in your decision, even when your brain is kind of shrieking danger. This training is going to be happening live at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. UK time. All right. If you join live, you get to ask me questions, right? You normally don't get time with me unless you're in one of my paid containers. So this is time to come on and just ask me questions. And you can do this anonymously if you want to. So if you worry about awkward moments socially, if you worry about other people's comments, if you worry about being judged when you don't drink, if you think you're judging yourself when you don't drink, this session is going to help. I want you to sign up using the link in the show notes. And please do pass this link on to friends, colleagues, relatives, other people you think might be interested in this. All right. That's my little mini advertisement for that free training. All right, so let's get on with today's show. And today we're talking about the what if spiral. Oh, this is such a good topic. I want to first start by normalizing this straight away. If you're somebody who goes into the what if spiral, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that, it's not some kind of personal flaw. This is what our brains do. This is what human brains do. All human brains do this. As humans, we have a built-in, the fancy words are negative confirmation bias. This is basically means that our brains are wired, right? They are wired through all the generations, the iterations of how we have evolved. They're wired to scan for danger, for risk, and for all the things that could go wrong, right? And there's a reason for this. That wiring helped us to survive. It kept us alert. It kept us cautious, right? It helped us to survive, literally to survive. But that wiring is not so helpful when you are trying to change a habit in today's modern life, where we have different kinds of survival danger than we did back in the day. Right? And it is not going to be helping us when we're trying to change a habit, especially one that has acted as giving us relief or comfort, which is what drinking does, right? It gives us a sense of relief, as I spoke about in last week's episode. This same wiring can work against us, right? Your brain, here's what's going to happen. Your brain is going to sense uncertainty out in the world, and that uncertainty is going to feel unsafe. And so our brain is then going to try and regain control by projecting into the future, right? This is the what if spiral. This is where that comes in. I want you to think about this. How often do you think these things? What if I can't figure this out? What if I can't figure this out this year? What if I can't figure this out at all? What if I don't change? What if I'm still stuck thinking about drinking months from now? What if this is just who I am? What if this is just how I'm going to stay? Right? What if this is me and my life forever, right? Drinking a bottle a night. I want you to think about that. These thoughts, when you think this, they feel really heavy, maybe overwhelming, because your brain is treating them as warnings, but they are not warnings. They are not information. They are guesses. At best, they're guesses. Might help you to think of it in those terms, right? This is not your brain reporting the news. This is your brain playing a guessing game. This distinction matters. Any what if is not happening in the present moment. It is either about a future that has not occurred yet, or it is about a hypothetical scenario that may never happen at all. Right? What if thinking lives in what could be or what might happen. It does not live in the now. And yet, right? Get a bit excited here. And yet we often let these future-based thoughts dictate the actions that we will take today. And that is the spiral that I'm talking about. This spiral can feel very convincing because it can sound responsible. It feels like you are thinking things through, right? What if this? What if that happens, right? Maybe we think, I'm just thinking this through, Anna. But in reality, all that's happening is your brain is trying to escape uncertainty by creating certainty through fear, right? And because of our negative confirmation bias, the certainty it creates is almost always worst case. I want you to notice something important. The famous what if spiral is one-sided. How often does your brain ask? And I know my answer to this back in the day would have been rarely to never. How often does your brain ask, what if I do figure this out? What if this gets easier than I expected? What if I actually enjoy socializing more without drinking? What if cocktails with the girls are more fun with mocktails? Those possibilities are just as realistic. They haven't happened yet, right? They're just as realistic. They just don't create urgency in our brains. So let's ground this into real life. Let's bring this back to real life. Let's say that you're invited out and you're considering not drinking. Immediately, you might notice the spiral starting. What if it's awkward? What if people notice? What if I feel left out? What if I cave? What if I can't pull this off? What if I get topped up? What if my friend Sam asks me what's going on? Right? All of that what if, all of that thinking is happening in the future. It hasn't happened yet. You're just projecting. Right now, in the present moment, nothing bad is actually happening. You're simply deciding what you're going to do next. And this matters. Right? The same thing might happen at home. Right? You consider this doesn't have to be social situations. Let's say it's the end of the day. You've been at work or you've been corralling the kids all day, and maybe you're doing both and you're tired. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe it's been a difficult day. And then we get into the what ifs. What if I always need wine to unwind? What if I'm never going to change? What if I never learn another way? What if this is the most effective way? What if this is me forever and a day? What if I start drinking even more because I can't stop now? Again, your brain is starting to talk about forever. But you're not deciding forever tonight. You are deciding simply how to handle this very moment that you are in. Think about this. Moments are manageable, right? We don't have to think about forever. We're just thinking about now. So here is the practical shift I want to offer. I don't want you to try and stop the what if spiral. We're just going to stop letting it drive the boat, right? Let it be in control of your brain. So when a what if thought appears, I want you to ask, is this a thought about now or about a future I am trying to predict? Right? Because we just want to get curious. If we tell ourselves, I mustn't do this, I shouldn't do this, it's bad to get into the what if spiral, that is going to create a whole load of other mind drama. So for right now, when you notice, I want you to notice it. That's a first step, right? Just noticing when you're in the what if drama, in the what if spiral. And then we're just going to ask, is this thought about now or about a future I am trying to predict, or my brain is trying to predict? That one question alone is going to bring you back into the present. And this leads directly into the core of my work that I do with my clients. I believe the most compelling thing, or one of the most compelling things about coaching, and the reason it works, is this. I'm going to help you take action regardless of emotion, right? We don't wait to feel confident. We don't wait for fear to disappear. And we do not let negative emotions decide what actions we take next, right? A negative emotion doesn't block the action required to get your desired result. I don't want your emotions. This is what I teach you. Your emotions will not stop you from taking the action you want to take. That is how you break out of the what if spiral. The spiral stays powerful when you pause your life waiting to feel better, waiting for this mind drama to stop. It's going to weaken. The what if spiral weakens the moment you're going to act anyway, right? Because your brain learns, well, we're just acting. I guess we're doing that thing again. We were doing it before and now we're doing it again, right? You don't need certainty to move forward. You just need a next step. And every time you take one, those what ifs are going to lose authority, because remember, they're projecting out into the big, immense forever. So when your brain says, what if I don't change? You can respond with, I don't need to solve the future right now. I just need to take the next action here and now. And that is how change actually happens, right? We keep our eyes focused on that next step. And if this resonates, this is exactly the work I do with my clients. I have been down that journey myself. I have stepped now countless people through that journey of deciding what their next step is, right? And so this is how we get change. And I want to be clear here. My calendar is getting booked up. I have 2 open slots to start working with me this month because more and more people are finding me. So if you're ready to stop letting those what if thoughts ruin and run your evenings, run your social life, and sort of run your confidence or run your feeling of lack of confidence, I want you to book some time to talk with me now. On that call, I will build for you a plan that works in your real life, right? Not just in some theory, so that you get your desired relationship with alcohol. It is your turn and it is such fun. All right, so that was what I had for you this week. And don't forget to sign up for the free training on the 19th of February. How to care less about what other people think when you say no to wine. It's such a cool title, if I do say so myself. And otherwise, I will see you on the podcast next week. If this episode hit home and you're ready to explore what life could look like with alcohol in the backseat, let's talk. I work with people one-on-one who are ready to create the relationship with alcohol that works for them, so they feel powerful in their choices and at peace with their habits. Go to 90dayslater.co and click on book a call, or grab one of the free guides in the show notes to this episode. And if this podcast is helping you, a rating or review goes a long way to help others find this work too.